Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we are going to be showcasing a strong ESCAVALIER team in the Ultra League Remix Cup that allowed me to climb to veteran rank. Now with Season 9, there is of course a new ban list for the Ultra League Remix Cup, so I will have that list on screen for you guys. And so since it's a new ban list, I decided to switch it up and run a new team. And honestly, it went super well. I won 66% of my games with this squad, and as I mentioned, it did carry me to veteran rank. Now, what initially drew me to ESCAVALIER was its potential to be a core breaker, specifically to the XL Nidoqueen and Dark type cores, which I'm expecting to see a lot of. And ESCAVALIER does very well there, but it does struggle against ghost types, so I've decided to structure an ABB style team to hopefully put it in its best position to succeed. So on the lead, we have our ghost type counter in XL level 50 Pidgeot, and we'll have Armored Mewtwo, a strong staple meta pick in the Remix Cup, as the safe switch to hopefully bait out their ghost type, so then ESCAVALIER is able to sweep in the back. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at ESCAVALIER in action in the Ultra League Remix Cup. Hopping into the first match, picking up a really nice lead here in Scrafty, and they are going to be safe swapping into their Jellicent. And since they're bringing in a Jellicent here, it looks like they are potentially double weak to Pidgeot. This is of course a bubble Jellicent, and they're able to hit us with an Ice Beam, but we do comfortably tank an Ice Beam, and we'll be able to go for this Brave Bird. Brave Bird unfortunately does get the shield, but before I go down, I am going to be able to reach the Feather Dance, and if they've lost count, which they have, we're able to get both shields. This is really, really nice. And now we're going to bring in the Armored Mewtwo. We'll use Armored Mewtwo to take care of the Jellicent, and we'll give 2 shields to our ESCAVALIER, and ESCAVALIER should be in a really comfortable position to close with a 2-0 shield advantage. Since they're debuffed, we can comfortably tank 2 Shadow Balls. That's not too much of a worry. And now we're just going straight for the Psy Strike to take them out. They come back in with Scrafty, we bring in ESCAVALIER, and do you notice? They're not switching out. So potentially, there could be a Nidoqueen in the back. They go for the Acid Spray, a very cool play, but we're going to be going for Mega Horn. Mega Horn was buffed in Season 9, does huge damage. And there's the Nidoqueen, and the opponent concedes the match. So game 1, finding that Nidoqueen core and able to punish it. All right, hopping into the next match. Really rough lead in Registeel. We are going to bring in the Armored Mewtwo here, and they counter swap into a Giratina Origin. Now, this is not as terrible of a situation as you may think. Now here, I was really hoping that I would be able to tank one and still get to the second Psy Strike. Unfortunately, I miscalculate and I'm not able to do that. So in hindsight, I probably should have committed a shield because we're able to trade shields there, and the confusions really add up because now, unfortunately, I don't have switch advantage, so this game could get difficult. They are able to go for the Focus Blast. We're going to bank the move, switch into ESCAVALIER, and they have a regular Machamp in the back. So if we were able to win switch advantage here, this game would be ours, but unfortunately, a bit of a mistake there. They did bring in a Ghost type, but specifically against Giratina Origin, if you're able to shield a Shadow Ball, that is a matchup that with an energy lead, which Armored Mewtwo had, that I would be able to flip. We are able to get off the Drill Run, which is really nice, and now, unfortunately, we have to shield here, as even a Cross Chop would be getting us dangerously low. We farm down, but we're just not going to be able to do enough damage to this Registeel. My only hope is we go for the Brave Bird, bait with the Feather Dance to get the shield and sneak a Gust through. That's nice. And then get to the Brave Bird, but unfortunately here, we need, we're going to need a lot more Gusts than we'll be able to get to before they're able to reach the Flash Cannon. And yep, right here, they are able to get to the Flash Cannon, and that's going to be taking me out. So unfortunately, that was a very winnable game. I just misplayed it. I didn't commit any shields in the mid-game to try and flip switch. Hopping into the next match. All right, Pidgeot into Jellicent. Catching the Ghost type on the lead is so nice. The fact that they're staying in, it's almost assuredly going to be Ice Beam, but since it's Hex, these Hexes are doing absolutely nothing thanks to our Ghost typing. And now we're going to be able to farm up a nice amount of energy here. That's the very comfortable thing. Going for the Brave Bird, huge damage. We simultaneously swap. And this is perfect. Armored Mewtwo absolutely destroys Dragalge. These confusions are chunking. Psystrike does massive damage. And now we just have to count. They have enough for an Outrage here. They do have enough. We shielded up last second, and it is the Outrage. That is huge. Now we can farm down, and they're not able to get to another move. That's so big for us. They bring in Jellicent. We farm it down as well, and the opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. All right, hopping into the next match. We didn't even need to use a Scavalier in that match. All right. We have a Typhlosion on the lead. This is a lead we cannot switch out of because if we switch out of it, we risk potentially losing switch advantage and having our Escavalier lined up against the Typhlosion endgame, which would be absolutely devastating for us. I go for the Feather Dance. They call it a very nice call there. Fortunately, since we have debuffed their attack, this Blast Burn is not going to be able to KO. We can tank the Blast Burn there, and we're able to farm down and win switch advantage. And they bring in a Surfetched. I am going to be going for the Feather Dance, and here I'm not switching out because I have a really good counter to Surfetched in Armored Mewtwo. We bring in the Armored Mewtwo, they have a Venusaur in the back, and it's a very good thing that we did not switch out there. We're able to win the lead, and by winning alignment, we win this match, which is absolutely fantastic for us. We're going straight for the Mega Horn. That does huge damage to Venusaur. The Surfetched comes back in, and we're just going to get that last shield with this Drill Run. And they're not going to be able to farm us down before we reach another Drill Run. Escavalier has some okay bulk in the Ultra League. To be fair, it's no Giratina, but it has some pretty nice bulk. And the nice thing is, even if they have a Brave Bird, we can let this go. We tank it. It's the Brave Bird. We live that totally fine. We save our shield, farm down, and able to get the win. All right, hopping into the next match. Pidgeot into Sylveon. Now here, I'm probably just going to be going straight for the Brave Bird, I would imagine here. Because a lot of people have been no-shielding my Feather Dances. Let's go for the Brave Bird here. And they shield. That's not great, but we can save swap into the Armored Mewtwo. And my opponent is staying in here. So potentially, they could be weak to Armored Mewtwo. Either that, or they have a good response to Pidgeot in the back. Either way, this should be okay for me. And they shield again. You know what? I am fine with this. We're just not able to get to the Psystrike, which isn't ideal. But I'm just going to give 2 shields to a Escavalier and let it do its thing. We can tank this. Should just be the Psyshock. We're fine there. And they have a Galarian Stunfisk. Oh, this is really, really good. If they're switching this into an Escavalier, they must have an even worse matchup in back. This is just a Rock Slide. We can survive this. That's fine. And then we are going to shield the next one here, but we should be able to counter down and leave with a move to chuck at whatever's in back, because it doesn't seem like they have a great matchup for whatever's in back here. They're probably bringing back in the Sylveon, would be my guess. They bring back in the Sylveon. I try and switch. I take one more charm that I was planning on, and they have an Excadrill in the back. So things are looking good for us here. We have the loaded Drill Run, so all we have to do is just save the shield for a Escavalier, and this game is over. We can safely let this go. We're not worried about that. We're very low health on a Escavalier, but we have almost 2 Drill Runs loaded. And a Drill Run is going to be absolutely vaporizing this Excadrill and giving us the win. You love to see it. Hopping into the next match, Pidgeot into Shadow Machamp. An amazing lead for us. And they bring in a Meganium. And this is so nice for us here. You know what? I'm fine. I will happily tank a move. I'll farm up a ton of energy on Pidgeot. And now we can bring in a Escavalier. And since we've landed enough Gusts, we should be able to tank 1 Earthquake and farm all the way down and leave with a ton of energy to threaten this Machamp. We're able to farm all the way down, and we should be able to get to 2 Drill Runs versus this Machamp, which is going to be so nice for us. And the nice thing is we also have a loaded Brave Bird on Pidgeot as well. We're able to get to the second one, and this should be getting the second shield. If they want to keep that Machamp alive, we get both shields. That is so nice. They're able to farm down, and here, since our switch clocks are misaligned, I am going to wait my clock before coming in and trying to hit them with the Brave Bird. They do a very nice catch onto Registeel, but since I stored energy, I'm actually going to be able to outpace them here. I'm able to get to a Feather Dance. I have 2 shields and a very bulky Pokemon, but while we're here, let's lower their attack and now bring in the Armored Mewtwo, and let's see how little this Flash Cannon does. Flash Cannon, dink! And the opponent realizes the futility of the situation, and they concede the match. Alright, hopping into the next one. We have, whoa, a Feraligatr on the lead. Please not Ice Fang. Okay, it's Waterfall. That's doable. It's going to be the same counts as Empoleon, so 5 to a Hydro Cannon. I am going to be shielding the first one up here. And so far, I haven't had a lot of luck in terms of Pidgeot. I've had a lot of Feather Dances unshielded and a Brave Bird shielded, but there we're able to land it. That's huge. They bring in Regice, and now we're going to bring in Armored Mewtwo, and my opponent makes an absolutely insane catch, catching Dynamic Punch onto Gengar. That is huge. Unfortunately, I noticed my opponent is lagging here, so I do stop attacking for a little bit, and I wasn't sure how much energy I got, so I let them catch up to a certain extent. Hopefully that was about even. I'm not 100% sure, but that was very unfortunate mid-game lag. They go for the Shadow Ball, that takes me out. That's fine. We now know they have Shadow Ball. We can bring in Pidgeot here. And from here, we have a pretty straightforward win con. We just need to get to the Feather Dance. Again, Feather Dance is just such a good move for when your opponent only has 1 Pokemon left. We're able to bring in the ESCAVALIER, and as you can see, ESCAVALIER is getting a lot of rage quits. Hopping into the next match, a Shadow Magnezone, horrible lead. We save switch into Mewtwo, and they bring out a Surfetched. My best guess is maybe they saw the Psychic typing and thought that it was a Defense Deoxys, but no, it is an Armored Mewtwo, and Armored Mewtwo absolutely vanquishes Surfetched. So we're able to flip switch, which is so nice for us. And the opponent waiting their switch clock, and now they're coming in with the Shadow Magnezone. Here, my opponent does an incredible job of counting, and right as I reach the Dynamic Punch, they throw the Wild Charge. I instantly bring in a ESCAVALIER, and they're just throwing a Mirror Shot so they can reset their switch clock and switch out. They throw the Mirror Shot, and they have a Shadow Machamp back, so their play now makes sense because they couldn't really stay in with the Magnezone versus the Armored Mewtwo because then their backline gets swept by Pidgeot, but unfortunately, since they brought in a fighter into my Armored Mewtwo, I was able to flip switch, and now it's going to be lined up with my ESCAVALIER. So, unfortunately, a bit of a tough combo for my opponent to handle. My opponent trying to farm down, they're not going to be able to do so. We're able to debuff them again. That is so nice, and now I'm just waiting for my switch clock to come up. Wait for it. We bring in a ESCAVALIER, and we unintentionally catch a move. That works for me. Just the Mirror Shot, that's fine. They are 4 times debuffed in their attack, so we can safely tank this. Wild Charge? Sure, that's fine. And we farm down, and my opponent dies with 2 shields. Alright, hopping into the final match. If we win this, we are veteran. Amazing lead off the bat, and an amazing thing to see in Nidoqueen, as our backline absolutely vaporizes Nidoqueen. To be honest, I could bring in ESCAVALIER or the Armored Mewtwo, but I like Armored Mewtwo here because it is extra bulky, and I do have the potential of farming it down, which is very nice because Confusion applies a ton of pressure. This is enough for an Earth Power. I do have to respect it. They bait me. It's the Poison Fang, and they throw in the middle of the Confusion. This is just a Poison Fang. I can barely survive this. Yes, we maintain switch. The bulk of Armored Mewtwo is huge. And here I blind through a Psystrike, and my opponent, reading I was probably going to do that, brings in a Registeel. Very nice play by my opponent, and they're able to lock on farm down. I bring in the ESCAVALIER, and they're going to be throwing a Focus Blast. That's fine. We'll let that go. We'll wait for them to switch. They bring in the Giratina, and we bring in our Pidgeot. And Pidgeot absolutely walls this thing. Almost no one's running Dragon Pulse, so we let this go. They're going for the Ominous Wind. That just does a laughably small amount of damage. So we're going to be going for the Feather Dance because I really don't want to debuff my defense. So we're going to be able to lower their attack. And from here, we should be in a pretty comfortable position. We can safely tank these Ominous Winds, even if they Shadow Ball. We're double resisting it. We're a normal type. We're really not worried about it. So we are going to be letting that go. That's totally fine. They're going to switch in the Registeel, and I'm actually going for the Brave Bird here. I don't think they're going to shield, so we'll get the extra damage. We'll bring in ESCAVALIER, and we should be in a pretty comfortable position to win this match. I'm going to shield up here, flash cannon, and I do decide to throw the drill run to try and get the last shield. I'm expecting them to shield. They actually don't. They bring in the Giratina, and Escav able to counter down a ghost type, get the win, and as you can see, able to hit veteran rank. So I had a ton of fun running this team. To be fair, it does feature a legendary and a level 50 Pokemon, so it's not the most accessible team to run, but I think it has a lot of potential if you're looking to climb the ranks in the Ultra League Remix Cup. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.